Hello and welcome to the 69th edition of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race Extra Large in Live for Speed. Tonight coming from Kyoto Ring GP Long Reversed with a mod, the WESSEX R69 SP. I'm Peter Butcher, you're watching Sim Broadcasts, and tonight I have Eoin Harmon alongside me. Unfortunately Miika can't be here tonight, but he wishes he could be. We hope to have him with us for the next edition. Eoin, how are you doing?
I'm keeping well, thank you, Pete. Should be quite a challenge for the drivers today. With a mod edition of RTFR XL.
Yeah, we like the mod editions, don't we? Qualifying has started slightly later, hence our slightly later go live time. So we expect to have about 4 minutes past the hour for qualifying ending. But yes, we are looking forward to this one because we'd like to have mods and we'd like to see mods being used in Live for Speed and of course on our broadcasts. So let's have a look at what we're dealing with this evening. Obviously, we're all very familiar with the track, hopefully, but not necessarily the car. Tonight, the 69th edition of RTFR XL, September 6th, and yeah, only 3 rounds left of the championship after today. And let's go a look at that all-important combo. We are at are we at the Boothie version? No, we're not at the Boothie version. We're at the normal version of Kyoto Grand Prix Long Reversed. We have had 60 minutes of qualifying, or just about that, 8 minutes to go in the session. And then tonight we're going to have a 30-lap race, and that is going to be it's going to have a 10-second mandatory pit stop in it. And yeah, very much looking forward to that. But the thing we're all here to have a look at is the car. So let's get that on the screen and see what tonight's action is going to be all about with the WESSEX R69 SP, a 2.8 litre flat 8 rear-wheel drive car with weighing in at 644 kilograms, and it has 374 brake horsepower. It was made by Teambo, and I'm going to read the description on the LFS website for this mod because it's quite a good one. This is a fictional car inspired by late 60s and early 70s sports prototypes, and is most similar to the flat 8 powered Porsches, particularly the 90802 Spider. And he's the creator of this mod, Teambo, has also tried to add hints of other cars in classic LFS tradition, he says, which I think is quite nice, I think.
Yeah, it's a great effort to take different elements and put them all together in a fictional package, but we'll wait and see how it will drive, and I'm sure the tips I got from Rony will be in the minds of our competitors tonight. I do like the sort of double spoiler at the back. It looks really fetching.
It does, and we'll get plenty of onboard action. Chris has put together some cameras for the car, and we'll see plenty of outboard shots, of course, as usual. Let's have a look at the championship standings, shall we, before we head on to the track for some action. It's Fragmasters leading the way. That's a turnout for the books, Owen. Ahead of Sidus Rick Cardle there in P2. Vitalis Gutskas is in P3 with Asker, Rony, Unite, Yoni, Thamuli, Upsas, and Pekka Koivunen rounding out our top 10. So yeah, Fragmasters Fatal is currently in the lead with 149 points after 8 rounds. And let's let the results scroll by. We have 4 pages, I believe, of results this evening. So yeah, this list growing and growing all the time, Owen.
Exactly, yeah. We'll be still carrying on all the way to the end of the year here in XL. So the opportunity to get your name on the list, it should be within, excuse me, should be hopefully within reach if you have a free Tuesday evening in the next couple of months. So yeah, well done to everybody who has taken the time to get themselves onto the standings so far.
Yep, 73 names. If you fancy being a part of that, then join us. The next round will be at the beginning of October. So there we are. That's the championship standings, how they currently sit. But enough of that, Owen. Let's go and have a look at the cars on track. Tell us who's currently topping the times.
The front row is occupied by Fatal and Ricardo, the championship protagonists so far. Rony in 5th place, we're very pleased with that. He's certainly an outside bet to win his own championship if he can get some extraordinary results before the end of the year. In between, we have Pekka Koivunen and Sidus Unite.
Here's something we've been warned about. Sorry to butt in. Rony before the race gave us a bit of a hint, and Lurcy was ticking off the first thing on that list that I was going to talk about. Perfect timing. This car is extremely tail happy as we see Kig now having trouble as he heads down to the final few corners. But Owen, especially coming onto the oval, that's where this car is just going to stick its rear into the wall, and those fetching double spoilers you were talking about, not that effective.
No, they are probably for the aesthetics more than performance boosting. But yeah, you can see some of the power slides if the drivers don't maintain the sense of control with their either their feet or in some cases most drivers drive with their hands. So if they're not patient on the throttle, then they will cause too many slides and inevitable accidents as well.
Yeah, here's Unite. He's gone for a black and gold outfit. I quite like that. Not too many liveries. I believe that Rony and some of the race green cars have liveries on them. But yeah, a fairly complicated shape. So not expecting too many liveries out there this evening. So we've got to keep an eye on who's who during the qualifying session. We have 3 and a bit minutes to go as Kig hits the wall. Not too much sliding going on there, but yeah, a little bit of understeer, in fact, being seen there. So it has both. It has the oversteer and the understeer. So it looks fairly tricky. Oh, look at this. That looks nice, doesn't it? Jari Katila. Bit of a bonnet cutout going on.
Actually, that's a good point. We have seen mods in the past that have custom configurations. And in this case, it must be the bonnet cutout. You can have it or not.
I think it's just a skin, but yeah, you are right. Skin, yeah. Some mods will have different configurations. Oh, that's a nice livery. I do like that on Lorenzo's car. The default livery of the car, and again, a car going very sideways onto the oval. We were also warned in our list that Rony provided with us before the session that drivers may come into the pit lane more than once for their mandatory stop. Of course, they have to stop for a minimum of 10 seconds anyway during the race, but judging by how sideways these guys are going and how fast this lap is, Owen, we can probably expect to see cars coming in the pit lane more than once today.
Quite possibly, yeah. Rony thinks the tyres could be good to last the duration of the race, as long as the drivers are very careful with the power slides. But I'd have to figure out the fuel mileage on that flat 8 engine to see if it can last the full distance on the one refill.
Yeah, the rear tyres, especially in this car, are super wide, and if everybody takes the lap like Joyner is taking it now, the Team America driver, then they aren't going to last 3 laps. I know this is a qualifying lap, so he has to push, but this is ragged. Currently P19 off wide at turn, well, it would be turn 9 in the other direction. Forgive me for not remembering which corner it is in this direction. Of course, we're in the reverse configuration today, but not a good lap so far from Joyner there. and in fact looping it. There we go.
Yeah. Once you start to lose control of the beast, it's just going to bite your hand off, and then that takes away your lap. In this case, Magic here borrowing Rony's sort of advertising for the event. He's using it as well for his livery.
Yeah, he's on an outlap. I don't know if he'll have enough time to get round, actually. I think he'll probably just make it. He's only got just over a minute to go before he ends the session, and it's going to be tight. So we'll have to wait to see whether Magic makes it across the line. He should just make it, I think. But there we go. Yes, you're right. Sporting the livery that was put together by Rony, I believe. Although it does appear to have the Magic stamp on the back of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a slight change compared to Sonic the Hedgehog, as Rony likes to use on his cars. Stargate SG1 is the answer from Chris in our ear. So well played there. Martin Capel has a two-tone blue and white colour. He is now going to cross the line. This be an improvement, or will it be at the beginning of a lap? We'll see.
He's got 21 seconds if he wants to do another one. Yeah, big improvement there. Magic is on the final corner with 15 seconds to go. So he did cut it pretty fine. He will get time for his timed lap. So barring anyone else, Magic will be the final car to set a timed lap. He comes across the line with 5 seconds to go.
Fine-tooth estimation there. So Koivunen did not make it to the line on time, Pete. So his efforts will be capped at third place. But if someone else can find the few extra seconds they need, then they will be taking that position off him.
Yeah, and to be fair, third place is a pretty good effort. We've got drivers like Michael Malik, Mandula, and Twin Cam currently, just hovering around the top 10 area. So, this car is going to separate the men from the boys. Magic tapping the wall there, feathering the throttle. We're going to watch this on board because, why not? It's the final timed lap of the session. It looks like Fatal's got this wrapped up by 0.6 of a second, though, and that is a hell of a margin over Pekka Koivunen, 1.6 seconds behind our provisional pole sitter.
Yeah, it will be one of the biggest margins between the first row and the second row we've seen in RTFR, but obviously you'd have to do a bit of Duckworth-Lewis method to try and calculate who is fastest per kilometre or per mile. See how really quick Fatal has been. But Magic will be delighted with a top 10 at this stage. He needs to find exactly a second if he's going to be threatening Twin Cam. Yeah, it's exactly 1 second he needs to improve by. Just stand a chance there, Pete.
Yeah, so big margins. I mean, we have an improvement there. I didn't quite catch who it was. Michael Malik improving up to P9, so good effort there. Inside the top 10, pushes Mandula down to P10. And yeah, as you said, Magic needs to improve by exactly 1 second, 0.01 to gain a position over Twin Cam. Let's see if he can manage it. 4 corners to go. It looks super difficult, and when you think about it, 7 seconds off, and yeah, unfortunately, that's all it's going to be. There we go. So it looks like Fatal has this well and truly wrapped up. There was a late improvement from someone, I believe. I think that was the final car, and I don't think we're going to get any more laps recorded. I think Magic was solid, firmly the final car, and he has now looped it. So, Owen, let's run down the 23 cars that have qualified for this one.
All right, let's see now. We have Sidus Gabor on the pole. He's taken a... sorry, I know... No, Fatal must have changed his name or something, because yeah, Fatal is the pole sitter, 2 minute 31.32. Ricardo is second on the leaderboard, so maybe just to... Yeah, that's better. Yeah, there you go. So Fatal is on pole, Ricardo second, Koivunen just the best of the rest there in third with Unite, Rony, Lorenzo, Pedro Bior, Timu Soini, Rayman, and Michael for the top 10. In the 2-minute 36s and below, we've got Mandula, Twin Cam, Magic, Tazka, Kapal, Kig, Yarikatilla, Lurcy, Joiner, and Yerloco. And probably times that are ineligible to be considered fit for the race, unfortunately. That's Batsy, 21st, T-Bug there, and Pirag. So I doubt any of those cars will be eligible to race.
Yeah, there was a pretty strict cutoff. Apologies for the wrong graphics there. That was a boo boo, but there we are. Yes, the drivers are subjected to a pretty strict cutoff because we don't want cars being lapped too easily, especially during the longer configuration of this event, the XL edition, because it's going to go on for about an hour and a bit. So. Longer race format, and definitely going to be more strict with those cutoffs, so we don't have slower traffic getting in the way and potentially causing accidents, especially in such a difficult car. But it's going to be fun. We have a few minutes to go. Not quite sure how long because qualifying was late, so I will defer to our team in the background to tell me when we're going to go. But there we go. It's going to be a little bit more of a wait, I think, today than normal because of the late qualifying start. I believe it's going to be 30 laps. Our graphic said 37, but I think it's going to be 30. 37 would make this a mighty long race. So let's hope it's 30. Otherwise, we're going to be here till Wednesday.
Yeah, the last second preparations, particularly when it comes to converting the setups into the race performing setup, you want to make sure that's bolted onto the car on time. And if there's any last minute adjustments you can make, you better do them now because you'll certainly regret any misplaced configurations.
Yeah, this car is new to everybody. It's new to us. We haven't seen a race with this yet because, as you know, obviously we have different. We've seen a bunch of different mods being used since their introduction at the beginning of the year, and this is just the latest edition, the WESSEX R69 SP, proving difficult in qualifying, and with only 23 starters, and judging by how difficult some of the drivers were finding it, let's just hope that as many as that can make it to the finish, and hopefully we don't have too much of a drop-off. Fatal has apparently got cramps, so I don't know whether that's a result of something else that we should be worried about, or the car. Hopefully it's the car, so I hope he's okay. Cramps are no fun, as you know, so yeah, lots of challenges for the drivers awaiting in this one, Owen.
Yeah, definitely health should be the priority for all the drivers. It's all for fun at the end of the day, so hopefully those cramps are not too serious. But if they are, you're better off just withdrawing from the race and taking care of your body. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we'll get some more updates on that as the evening goes by.
Absolutely. We're just moments away then. Just under a minute to go, we're here for the start of the race. 10-second mandatory pit stop, but expect the drivers to be coming in the pit lane basically whenever they feel like it, because this car is really difficult. If you hit a wall, you're going to bend something and you might want to go and repair it. So we're going to keep an eye out for what's going on there. And it could be a big shuffle. Even at the front of the order, anybody makes a tiny mistake and has to bring the car in the pit lane. That's a long pit lane, Owen. So we could see some costly errors changing the race and potentially changing the championship standings, because as you see, Fatal leads Rick Cardle in the championship, and he leads him by one grid position for the start of today's race. The front row, Fatal for Fragmasters and Rick Cardle for Siders, coming up in just a moment's time. Here we go then, Owen, for the start of the race. The drivers have readied up, and there we go. Race green, race clean.
Indeed. Fatal has the opportunity to lead, taking that pole position. The red lights come on. 1, 2, 3. How's the getaway, everyone? Long hold, but we're away. And the wheel spin is wild, so Koivunen looked like he had a chance and he could still go second, but as a matter of fact, you can see on the outside lane, that side is Unite. So it could be -2 for Rick Hardle. He's down 2 places. And Unite is going to get loose in the first curve before the complex chicane hairpin. So Rick manages to stay or halt his teammates' progress. Rony be watching carefully. Rick still burning rubber there, but a magnificent getaway for Fatal.
Yeah, he absolutely disappeared. He's completely disappeared. It's opened up such an enormous gap already at the lead of this race, and it looked like a great start from Unite, but he's dropped straight back down to P4 by the looks of it. We'll get an update, obviously now. Yeah, there we go. So Rony also having a very good start ahead of Lorenzo, his teammate.
Oh, we've got contact on the oval. It's Gabor and Jari Katila sort of into a 90-degree spin that they recovered from. But that's really frustrating to say the least.
Yeah, so Gabor and Jari Katila now last of our 18 starters. Yet those cars that didn't set fast enough qualifying times were not allowed to restart the race. And Gabor, well, he likes to start these races from the back and see how far he can get up through the order. But that is not the way he wanted to start his race at all. But look at this. Fatal already with a commanding lead over the rest of the field. 1.79 seconds already, and we haven't even completed a lap yet. Let's see. Pekka Koivunen, can he defend from Rick? Rick in the purple and yellow Sidus-inspired livery, and Pekka Koivunen driving the white and green car in front, getting very loose as we head up to the second sector time.
Now Gabor's in more danger here, Pete. He's off the circuit after a collision with Soini in some manner. So it's really difficult for one of those world-class Lions cars to keep the car under control. Yeah, it's a case of Rick Hardle, I think, just needs to relax. He knows he has enough of a lead, but Koivunen will be threatening him if he doesn't stop the power sliding. That's so prevalent.
Gabor has been the first victim of a suspension failure, as far as we can tell. Front left is completely collapsed, as you can see. It's completely disappeared up into the mudguard there, the wheel arch. Sorry, and yeah, he's going to be in the pits for sure to repair that. But Fatal has already completed 1 lap, and look at the gap he's opened up. Oh my goodness me, 2.5 seconds at least. What's it going to be when someone else crosses the line? Well, a lot is the answer. Just over 2 seconds then. Ricardo did make a little bit of a gain once he cleared Pekka Koivunen, but still, brilliant start for Fatal. Can he keep it? T-Bug has a drive-through for a false start, we're hearing, so he'll have to serve that too. Looks like he's got more to worry about than just a drive-through. Looks like he's having a hard time with the car just now, so we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, very, very nice start so far in this race. As we see Jari Katila spinning around, he's looped it in the first chicane, so he drops down to pretty much last. Gabor's in the pits repairing that suspension damage that he had. There he is. It's going wrong for some people that we didn't expect it to go wrong for. Jari Katila, Gabor having bad starts to this race.
Yeah, I didn't notice how many laps Gabor ran in qualifying, but being in the mid-pack, that left him potentially at risk of collisions, or he could have been in a queue and then he spun the car. And it's very high lines on display. Michael and Mandula got a little too high, but tarmac was there to spare them. So yeah, just the early struggles for this new car.
Yeah, lucky bit of driving there. We saw these two switch positions, Lorenzo and Pedro. So they're having a bit of a ding dong here. Lorenzo even on the lights trying to flash Pedro ahead. Lorenzo going a bit wide again. Is he going to drop a wheel? Oh, that was close. Hanging it out there, really, really wide. Didn't quite drop a wheel.
Yeah, good accuracy for Pedro to avoid the grass on the exit of the corner. But the threat from Lorenzo is still very strong, so we'll carry on keeping an eye on that battle, but certainly the top 4 have a healthy enough advantage over these two.
Yeah, this race is certainly going to be who is smoother, and Lorenzo got a much smoother exit than Pedro Biar, but Pedro Biar, for some reason, has managed to hook it up. But will Lorenzo fancy a sniff? No, he's backing off of that one. Does not fancy that. Michael Malik and Mandula, similar story. Mandula trying to find a way past Magic, but past Michael Malik, but it's not going to work there into the final chicane. Debug has retired from the race after just 2 laps with a burnt clutch, so not ideal.
Yeah, I think he was very aggressive on the pit exit. He even got caught speeding in the pit lane for serving 1 penalty. So, yeah, the drivers need to be mindful of the clutch temperatures, especially when they're stationary.
They do indeed. Mandula looks like he's having a bit of a hard time. This car looks like it's a complete handful. Magic at the moment able to get tighter lines, and there again, a wiggle at the rear of Mandula's WESSEX R69 SP. And, well, this is going to be a battle that rages on all race long. So is, I believe, this one, as we have Lorenzo then trying to find a way past Pedro Biar, who's got a better chicane exit. It looks like Rony is getting closer to those two as well. We have Teemu Soini in the pits repairing front right damage. So yeah, not a good afternoon so far for Soini either. He'll come out somewhere near Gabor, I expect. But at the front, Owen, it looks like Fatal has opened up the gap by a little bit more over Rick. But these two now basically driving the very, very similar pace. So I wonder what's going to happen there.
It's very tasty battling here, Mandula versus Michael. Maybe Michael has done enough to fend off the approach in the middle portion of the track. This will be turn 12 coming up, I believe. Deceptively tricky left-hander, especially in this car, where the understeer can also be a threat. Then the oversteer will be kicking in for Michael just there as the crest of the hill rises. Now there's the dip, and yes, unsettled WESSEX car there for Mandula, and then Michael's also having a bit of a struggle there. Now we've got a tighter left-hander, so this could be very dangerous. Yellow flags are pointed out, so there is a car off ahead. Unite, oh no, Unite has lost the stranglehold in 4th place, and now he has to rescue another slide, so -3. Lorenzo, Rony, and Pedro all through.
Yeah, and while we're watching the battle behind with Magic and with Michael and Mandula, Pedro dropped back behind Lorenzo and Rony. So Pedro had an error probably, but Lorenzo and Rony managed to get through, and we have race green 4th and 5th currently as Sidus Unite drops down and goes in the pit lane. I wonder what for. Chris will tell us, but I wonder what has befallen Unite at this early stage of the race.
Oh, he nearly exited pit stop straight away. I think he just probably wanted to cool the tires or something. I definitely saw him try the throttle, but yeah, he's timed it.
10.08, so that must have been a fuel stop, and he's decided to do it early. There was no fuel going. He didn't do any fueling, so he just timed that himself. Impressive, but a little bit weird. Maybe. I mean, this car does have a 100-litre fuel tank, so maybe they just don't need to refuel during this race. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll see later on into the cycle if anyone needs to refuel. Yeah, I just think Unite probably wanted time out of the traffic and just to gather his thoughts after losing those positions. And unfortunately, Twin Cam's time on circuit is over. He has decided to withdraw.
Yeah, we got a lovely shot from the rear of Pedro's car as Mandula is starting to size him up. Oh goodness me! Pedro gets very sideways, almost drifting this car through the S's here, and
he's going to be on the grass and the gravel.
Yeah, into the gravel. That's going to allow Magic to shoot through as well, surely.
Oh, and he's decided to quit as well. Yeah, that's one mistake too many, apparently.
They're dropping like flies, Owen. We're down to 15, and we're on lap 4 of 30. So it's going to be a clash of the titans at the front, I'm sure, and just a battle of endurance for the rest of the field, who can wrestle this car around the track and finish the race.
That's it, precisely. Yeah, we'll certainly want to keep an eye out for any more early pitters. Unite will be the yardstick to follow for anyone who would like to be featured in the top 7 or so. If he can fight his way back up with more, hopefully, open circuit to him. We have Yerloco and Magic having the latest battle with Kapal watching in the background just in case. This is the final sweeper before the start-finish straight.
Yeah, Yerloka being very tentative, as everybody is, but getting a decent enough exit. I wonder how the slipstream effect is in this car. We're about to find out. Magic is shooting up the inside here. Let's see. Is he going to make a move? It looks like it's a bit late, so he's going to back out a bit. Martin is definitely gaining on these two, though, and as they begin to fight and hold each other up, I'm sure that this will become 3 cars. In fact, it's already 3 cars, as Yerloka gets all wrong and hits the bales. Somehow manages to keep it in the lead temporarily, and that's enough. Magic gets through.
Yeah, I was worried for Magic for a moment because that hay bale looked to have struck his car and put it loose, but I suppose it just about held on. So Kapal also benefited from that mistake, and he might benefit again.
No, he's tagged Magic. He went for the move, and it's gone all wrong, and Martin Kapal has caused a 3-car accident there. Oh dearie me, that we don't often see that sort of banditry in Rony's Tuesday Fun Race, but kindly provided there by Martin Kapal of Savage Sim Sports, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that was ambitious, but he just didn't leave enough room on the inside for Magic. Magic hit the wall. He couldn't go any further out of the way, and Martin tagged the back, unfortunately. And well, that was exciting.
Yeah, just felt like Martin wanted to put his nose in without making a firm commitment, but Magic's line into the sweeping corner was where Martin had stuck in the nose, so unfortunately contact occurred, and Yerloco sneaks away unscathed almost.
Rick Cardle is taking time, or was taking time, until he just drove over that sector line away from Fatal. But yeah, they are trading times then. But I think Rick lost about half a second in the previous sector, which is fairly chunky. The mouse drivers are struggling. That's what Chris is telling us in our ears. As if they don't have a hard enough time driving this car with a mouse. Certainly, it's proving a challenge because of the digital nature of using the throttle with a mouse. Throttle application is more important in this car than most, of course, because of how tail happy it is. Magic has spun out, apparently. We missed that. Yep, there he is. Big front end damage on that car.
The Unite goes through, so a very upsetting lap for Magic here. It seems it was all out of his control, unfortunately. He's just trying to hang on for dear life with the car. There isn't any suspension failures or anything of the kind, so it may just be that the tires might be a bit warm, a bit of dirt also on the rubber, so he'll decide to carry on.
Yeah, very aesthetic for Magic. Just a tiny amount of suspension damage for him, as Fatal is choosing to run a kind of midline into Spoon and is struggling, I have to say. Oh, maybe not there, just about getting down to the apex. But I do wonder whether we're going to see Rick Cardle try and close up here. He's gained half a second in the first part of the lap, but on the previous time round, he lost that time again in the final sector. So maybe these two have nailed different parts of the track, as Martin is having a really bad time as well. Martin is wobbling all over the place. Here he is in P12, and I believe Magic is in the lead, or is ahead of him now.
Now it's a chance for Rony to get himself into prime position for his team. Lorenzo will not give it up without his best possible fight. Again, these ascents and descents with the turns are also very difficult for this car. Lorenzo very, very patient, just dabbing the throttle once or twice before the car will allow him. Lovely back reverse view here for Lorenzo. So these two teammates evenly matched so far. Oh, Rony decides to floor it just a little too soon.
Yeah, Twin Cam in the chat saying that he thinks the car requires a delicate foot, something which he does not possess. And many cars, many drivers here, Twin Cam, also suffering with that, so you're not alone. You're definitely not alone. Rony is having some troubles too. There we go. Gets a wheel on the sleeping policeman, unsettles the rear, and then compromises his exit. Still better than Lorenzo by the looks of it, so we could see a change of position here, can we? Yep, Rony to the inside. This is going to be a tasty T1 if they don't pull back into line. Lorenzo trying to keep it out wide. Draws back alongside. He'll have the inside for the chicane. This could be a great recovery. And it looks like Rony's going to play fair. And that's a good comeback.
Yeah, smart play for Lorenzo, using the outside line to his advantage, refusing to let the car just order about. He knew what to do, and Rony, credit to him as well. He responded in kind to Lorenzo and his defense. So, there you go, double power slides there. So Lorenzo may be able to make a break for it here.
He certainly will, and he's already disappeared out of the blimp cam. So there we are. That's effective, striking out your opponent, but it was a really good comeback, to be fair. And yeah, these two at the front still trading times, 2 seconds between them. But at some point, you've got to imagine one of them is going to make an error, and that gap is going to go one of two ways. And we could have a fight in our hands, hopefully. 7 seconds back from Fatal, it is Pekka Koivunen, who is retaining his P3 qualifying position. He'll be pretty happy with that right now, I imagine, because look at the gap behind him. 15 seconds back to Lorenzo and Rony. So there is a different league happening out front at the moment, Owen.
Exactly, yeah. It was looking like a four-pronged attack for the top drivers. Now it's down to 3, thanks to Unite making a mistake. So yeah, Koivunen will be probably the driver with the chance to probably express himself a bit more. He knows he can push where needed and stay back if he is struggling a bit because of that huge advantage he holds. So if anything happens in front of him, he will be pushing to see if he can capitalize on it.
Yeah, we have a long way to go. Unite has pitted already for 10 seconds. He did have that error, but he's still in this race. He's 49 seconds down, but he's already driven through the pit lane. He's already stopped for 10 seconds. So he could come out near the Pekka Koivunen, near Pekka Koivunen, either ahead or in front. Don't quite know where he will be, but he's got around a 40-second gap. As we see Rony and Lorenzo going at it again. Role reverse this time. Rony on the outside, Lorenzo on the inside. Oh! I thought they were going to swipe each other there, but Rony cut across. Lorenzo's panicked and gone off. And yeah, these two are, well, no love lost between teammates at all.
Yeah, that would have been a very scary moment there for Lorenzo. He had to just let the car drift onto the grass. Otherwise, he might have had one of those crucial bumps off the wall that would have damaged his certainly the rear bodywork. Yeah. So now we'll move on to another battle. Unite has pretty much pulled away here over Michael and Yerloco.
Not only did he manage to pull away, but I think we missed the overtake of the race. He got past both of them, I think, in the final corner of the lap. They are pretty much fighting each other by the looks of it, but Unite managed to go from 11th to 9th in one corner. 10th to 8th in one corner, I believe. Yeah, these two still sliding. Michael Malek trying to follow Yerloco. Oh, goodness me. Yerloco really struggling with this car.
It's just those hay bales again. They could certainly knock a very lightweight car completely off its trajectory. But thankfully for Yarloka and Michael, it was just the gentle bump off the wall. It wasn't a collision that would have caused them to spin or make the suspension get creaky. So with the Unite pretty much able to pull away, it should be Michael feeling a bit more confident here in the middle sector. But no, that was a bad corner, unfortunately. But he'll try again.
I've just had an evil thought. I mean, I wonder what you make of this evil thought that I've just had. You know, Argentina Turismo are organising these prototype races, these Le Mans WEC style prototype races. Do you imagine a classic 24-hour in LFS with this thing?
I would be terrified personally, but if anyone has the bravery or the stupidity to try it, then yeah, I'll give him free rein to try. I'm not the greatest with retro vehicles myself, unfortunately. It will be an amazing achievement to see these cars trundle around for 24 hours.
Yeah, I don't think many people have got the patience, let alone the ability to do that. But yeah, pretty evil thought, I thought. So don't think we'll be seeing that anytime soon, but would be fun. Well, would be fun for us to watch, sit back and commentate on it for a day. But Michael Malik, certainly at the moment, not enjoying it. Those rear tyres are gone.
Yeah, Michael has decided to pit. He'll be slowing down just before the limiter line. He's going to retire.
Something pretty important. I need to butt in.
Retire.
Fatal is behind Rick Cardle. We missed it.
Oh no, we missed
Something happened. We'll get Chris to check the replay and see exactly where that happened. But yeah, there has been a lead change, and Rick Cardle is now second ahead of Fatal. Apologies, we didn't see it, but we will get the blow-by-blow of what on earth happened to Fatal there. I can only imagine that it was an error. I don't imagine that Rick Cardle suddenly found 3 seconds a lap on Fatal. We'll find out what's gone on there. Pekka Koivunen has closed in, as you mentioned. He just needs to do consistent laps, and you never know. He might manage a P2 or a P1 in this race. Fatal needs to be calm and composed. Try and check out whatever issue he had and see if he can drive around it. As Rick goes very sideways into the left-hander. Fatal went wide at turn 9, so onto the grass and went out wide into the gravel trap and lost enough time that Rick was able to get through. So an unforced error in the end for Fatal, but maybe just a reflection of the state of his tyres, the stage of the race, and he's going to go wide again. So he's really starting to struggle. Rick is going to disappear into the distance. There he goes.
Yeah, the race leaders now put the pitting Jari Katila a lap down. I think he's probably gone away from his computer. He's it's actually a very long pit stop. I apologize. He had 35.65 second stop, but he wasn't daring to hit the throttle, probably for the sake of the clutch.
Owen didn't give the mechanics enough credit there.
No,
the LFS mechanics are extremely quick at repairing these cars.
Yes, they certainly are.
It's not like your normal racing where it'll take them half a day to put the car back together. Jari Katila didn't even have time for a cup of tea during that one. It is a fantastic looking car, and you can see the various shapes of old classic endurance machines. It's a very fetching car, but not sure how much the drivers are enjoying it right now. Here we have Martin Kapal trying to close up to the back of Yaraloco. Both of these cars look like they've been in and out of a scrapyard already.
Yeah, a few sort of divots on the nose, particularly of Yaraloco's racer.
Yaraloco using mouse, Martin Kapal using a wheel, and you can see the contrasting exits personified. Yoroloko very twitchy. Martin a little bit of slide, but a little bit more under control. Yoroloko, fair play to him, holding on. But he's going to hit the wall, is he? Oh, yes, just taps the wall. That gives Martin the advantage. And Yoroloko squeezes him wide, giving him all the... making him use all the road. Martin will have the inside at Spoon, but Yoroloko lower down has the speed advantage, or does he? Martin really hanging the car out there and ultimately able to get ahead and gets the car slowed down pretty well there.
Yeah, the oval is not flat in these cars by any stretch. So Kappa being on the high line, certainly the risk of an accident will be increased.
They're
in
still
that
side by side.
Yeah, they're still side by side. Yeah.
Martin leaves him space, and Yoroloko gets the position back. That was fantastic. Didn't expect it, if I'm honest. I thought Yoroloko was gone, but no, he hung it in there. And
oh no, too hot.
But now he's gone off, and Martin will take that position. Yoroloko, unfortunately, will have to compose himself and try again. But that was valiant effort. Didn't quite work out.
Yeah, it's great that we got to see that, and we may see some more side-by-side action. It's Tasca currently about 0.4 per second clear of Unite. We'll see how the final chicane treats these two drivers. Certainly the gap will be coming down, and that's the lapped Yari in the grass there, so his race just gets worse and worse. Cross the line in a few moments. Still the view from behind. Here we go. Can't be more than... Oh, it's 0.7 per second. Okay. And a new personal best there from Tasca. Very, very strong lap. And hopefully he'll keep that standard going. Unfortunately, the sort of opening curve doesn't treat him very well. Unite may get him before the oval. It's done. This should be side by side, and someone has to be very, very brave. I think Unite is just going to blend by here, Pete.
Well, he has done. Unite has lost about 4 or 5 seconds in traffic as he goes very sideways. Oh, goodness me. Keeps it under control. He's on the brakes through the chicane. Tasca could have a chance here in the slipstream. Unite was not smooth through the chicane, but I think he's just about got it wrapped up. We will wait and see. But Unite lost about 4 or 5 seconds, maybe 6 seconds now, actually, weaving his way through traffic after his early stop. So I'm going to say Pekka Koivunen hasn't lost that much time. So Unite should rejoin in 4th once the cars around him pit, if he keeps it on the road until that point. So Unite is currently looking at around P4 when everyone else pits, I reckon.
Yeah, be getting back what he previously had. We'll see if the other 3 drivers in front, Rony, Lorenzo, and Mandula, can find the extra pace they need. But with Unite well and truly released now, they'll be certainly they'll be nervous of that situation. Koivunen, well, you'd have to have 2 blimps to see the distance between himself and Rony at the moment. It's absolutely enormous.
Yeah, unfortunately, we only have the budget for 1 at the moment. Couldn't get another one up in the air today. But the gap is pretty enormous between Pekka Koivunen and Rony. It's 21 seconds, which is colossal. Here we are, Rick Cardle doing a very, very nice job. And we didn't quite see what happened to Fatal, but it was an unforced error at turn 9 that saw him drop back behind Rick, and he hasn't managed to recover just yet, probably struggling with tyres, we think, because he's been going a little bit wider and having to work quite hard to keep this car circulating.
Yeah, it's just a case of you got to keep the speed up without overstepping it. And there's a perfect drift demonstration for Rony. He was going very quick and was threatening to overstep it, but thankfully he's still on his merry way in fourth.
Yeah, Rony's. There's Sonic on the back. Green Sonic. Yeah, you mentioned that before. I just saw it myself. Yeah, he's having a good time in his car so far. Fourth place is by far and away the highest position I've seen him occupy in RTFR in a while. Apologies if I've missed something. As Martin Kapal retires, has he?
Oh, he has.
Yeah, he's gone. So Martin is enjoying this car even less. And that's unlike Martin to bail, to be honest. It's not the sort of driver to give up, Martin Kapal. So he must have been having a very bad time to call it a day.
Yeah, so we're down to 13, and I fear for Jari Katila a lap down. He's made another mistake at Spoon, and there'll be more competitors putting him under blue flags.
Yeah, as you mentioned, down to 13 cars, and we are on lap 13 of the race. Unlucky for some. Martin Kapal. Anyway.
New fastest lap from Fatal has been posted. That was a 2-minute 33.13. That's definitely going to be picked up by Rick Hardle. He knows if he doesn't answer that, like he did get a 2:33.36 last go around. So if he, that was Teemu Soini at the chicane on his own there. Oh yeah, he's now in the middle of the racing line, so he does have enough time to escape without any competitors reaching him. Yeah, it was just caught there by Pete very well in the background of the shot we saw with Rick and Fatal, but unfortunately another world-class Lions car has had a very bad lap.
Fatal and Rick are still together. This is like roles reversed from earlier. Rick Cardle was chasing down, piling on the pressure on Fatal, not letting him get away, and now Fatal is beginning to find his mojo again and is keeping with Rick. So this really could go either way, and it is just a case of who makes fewer mistakes. Fatal's made one or two while we've had him on the camera. Rick, we know he's human. He's made errors in the past. Not many of them. Of course, he won last year's Rony's Tuesday Fun Race Championship. And, he is certainly putting the screws to Fatal at the moment. He's P2 in the championship. He wants P1 back. And if Fatal wants to challenge him anymore, he needs to catch him on merit. 1.9 seconds. He's doing just that. Fatal is closing this gap down again as Teemu Soini unfortunately retires.
Yeah, I think he reached a point of no return from his car performance. Those rear tires just constantly sliding on him, and there was no way back to the pits. I would assume it was just a huge drive away, and the other cars would have been coming very quickly to him. So yeah, if he feels it's the right time to retire, then yeah, he's made the right decision. But yeah, it's a real shame to see him out, especially we're not even halfway. We've seen a lot in our 14 laps here.
Yeah, that's the end of lap 13. This is lap 14 just beginning, so yeah, quite a way to go, about 6 minutes until halfway. As Rick Cardle drops a wheel, and are we going to be given this lead battle sooner than I expected? 1.4 seconds now, the gap. It will be less than that now that Rick made that slight error. But yeah, Fatal needs to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger in Rick's rear view mirror. We can see the nice tailpipes here from that flat 8 engine. Sorry, intakes. My mistake. Forgetting the anatomy of cars very briefly, as we have another retiree, Yaroloco.
So 10 of the remaining 11 cars are on the lead lap. Gabor will he'll be safe for another while from the race leaders. He just needs to carry on what he's doing, and hopefully some things will break in his favor. Yeah, we carry on now at the lead battle. I think I saw Fatal's lap time on that last lap was 6/10 quicker than Rick's time.
Yeah, he's taken more time out of him this lap as well. Two tenths already. Great sound. I do like the sound of this car. Crank it up if you haven't already. And yeah, enjoy it. It's a nicely put together mod. This it looks like it's certainly a challenge, but it's a good spectacle for us. Magic has blinked. He's coming to pits for his stop. I think he's going to do some damage repair as well, but no doubt he will put any fuel he needs and make this his mandatory 10-second stop. But he's already gone over 10 seconds, so that will be legal.
Well, he is revving the car, so I can certainly believe he's not AFK. So there you go, 31 seconds pit stop for damage to the body.
Let's go on board with Fatal for a bit and just see how he approaches this lap. He had the fastest qualifying time by a country mile, and now he is in second place and having a little bit less of a happy time than he was before. But yeah, let's keep an eye on that all-important gap. It was 1.29 seconds as they came down the S's, and as we go across start-finish and up to top speed, we're down to 1.1. Fatal is getting up there.
Yeah, he's nearly within that precious 1 second deficit, and obviously the slowdown will make it feel like they're gaining. But yeah, we'll see a pit stop here for Pekka Koivunen for fuel stop 10.52. That's spot on, right on halfway, pretty much.
Yeah, great stuff. And what's more important is he's going to come out in that same position. I don't think Rony is. Oh, he's just got through, but where is Pekka? Oh, Pekka's just exiting pits. It's close. Lorenzo will get through as well, but these two yet to pits, so Pekka might end up in third. Where's Unite? Unite's just entering the home straight, so that's the gap that has emerged between Unite and Pekka Koivunen between their pit stops. Unite lost a lot of time.
Yeah, that's disheartening for Unite to see.
Look at this.
Yeah, but now cross over to the lead battle again. It's really the pressure cooker situation for Rick after he was previously able to gain the lead through a mistake of some description for Fatal. So if he can hang on through these pivotal few laps now, he'll know that Fatal could be forced to do something exceptional to try and beat him.
Well, it's coming down this gap. It looks like Fatal is in a more comfortable position at the moment, but he's still got that purple and yellow machine ahead as Rick gets the rear out once again. You can see him soaring at the wheel as he heads off. Oh, goodness me, and has to use all of the racetrack. We don't often see cars over there at the exit of the of that corner. But yeah, Fatal, he needs to find something now to make the most of Rick Cardle when he's at his most vulnerable.
Absolutely. If Rick can find his peak again later into the race, that'll be a huge lift to him, and Fatal will be disappointed that he didn't take the chance when it was certainly available to him. That's the new fastest lap, 2 minutes 33.11. Another nearly 3/10 out of the lead. So very, very strong run for Fatal.
Rick Cardle did manage to go faster in the middle sector on that lap, so between them they've got a mighty impressive best lap going on here. But yeah, Fatal not as strong in the second or third sectors of that lap than Rick Cardle. Pekka has caught up to Lorenzo, who's yet to pit. Oh, goodness me, but has to back out of it because Pekka went on the grass himself as Lorenzo breaks down for the pit lane.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. He doesn't want to fight a driver who he probably will grudgingly admit is quicker than him today. So you may as well get that pit stop out of the way, especially if it's on strategy. be a fantastic bit of timing. So we'll see. Yeah, he should be well clear. Oh, Tazka has made a mistake on the final corner, so he won't be able to beat. Lorenzo out of the pits. In reality, to be honest, but now Fatal is extremely close now to Rick. The opportunity to strike has to be very soon. Wouldn't you agree, Pete?
Certainly. You won't want to do it on the twisty section here. You'll want to wait until you're on a straight, probably, because there's going to be a mighty accident if they suddenly want to occupy the other side of the road, which has happened plenty of times on the camera. But yes, Fatal is now within touching distance of the back of Rick's car, so it's game on. Let's see what you've got. Let's see what the best of RTFR XL in 2022 has got to offer. These two, Fragmasters Fatal and Sidus Rick Cardle, who are coming up to traffic, and I believe that's Magic, who's just up the road from them, so that could play a factor.
Yeah, if Magic can just get through the final corners, yeah, he will do so. Yeah, he's taking it very, very gently, though. So he'll be getting that blue flag notice very soon. It's still too early for him to do anything to get out of the way. He's certainly close. And now Fatal decides it's the opportune time to pit. So we'll see if Rick can avoid that undercut when he needs to stop himself.
Fuel going in for Fatal. Remember that Unite did not put fuel in way back at the beginning of the race. So if these guys feel that they need fuel, or they're just using the fuel to time the pit stop, then that's an interesting change of strategy. 10.25 seconds for Fatal. That's enough. That will do just nicely. And there's pit exit. Where's he going to come out? Is Rony going to cause a headache? Because Rony's yet to come in the pits. No, he's not. He's just coming past pit entry now. Doesn't decide to stop, but he will not be a factor in this lead battle at all. He's quite a way back, and Fatal now needs to readjust to the car. He didn't change tyres, so that'll be the same, but there will be a little bit of extra weight in the car because he used fuel to time the pit stop.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to compare those lap times again when Fatal has a full go around as opposed to taking time out to use the pit lane. Magic did get the call for blue flags, so Rick is now clear of anybody in front of him for a huge portion of the track. We'll now move over to Tazka. He has Gabor for competition now because of that mistake he made previously. So Gabor could find himself in 8th place if he carries on the pressure. Yeah, Tazka's wide.
And Gabor will say thank you very much and slot through up into 8th place.
And every other car on the track that can compete for positions are spread out. You can see the leaderboard. Yeah, pretty much every other battle on track that could possibly happen will not be happening at the moment. Rony yet to pit, Rick Cardle yet to pit. They're the only outliers in the top 4 at the minute. And Mandula, I believe, is he?
Yeah, he's yet to pit.
Yeah, he's yet to pit as well. So yeah.
Tazka, the only other car yet to stop, but Tazka is currently in P9, 1 minute 35 off the lead, so it might be close with Magic or Yari, but maybe not. It depends just how long Tazka spends in the pit lane as to whether Magic will be able to get back past Tazka. Here's Pekka Koivunen, by far, in a way, the most consistent driver that we've seen, touch wood, today. No mistakes so far from him. And driving very comfortably in P4. That will be P3 when Rony pits. And safe to say that Pekka Koivunen has a very comfortable gap over Unite, some 30 seconds of a gap. Sorry, no, 20 seconds of a gap. My math's letting me down a bit there. but that's pretty comfortable still.
Yeah, it's pretty much leave out. Yeah, it'd be nearly 1/6 of the lap that he has over the competition. Now we have a pitter from 5th position. It's Mandula. That duly puts Unite into 5th. Lorenzo will be through as well. It's Gabor. I'd like to see if he can beat Mandula for a pace here. The fuel only.
Gabor has pitted, so this is for position. And Mandula is just exiting the pits now. It's going to be close, is it? I think it might be. I think Gabor might have a battle on his hands. He is going to have a battle on his hands. Mandula emerges just in front for 7th place. So Gabor's not going to have it easy. Mandula will put up a fight. We have a fight. So let's see what is going to happen here. Can Gabor use his momentum? Of course, he's been out on the track for, well, he hasn't stopped for a while. Mandula's just come out in the pit lane, put fuel in, I believe, and there we are. That's what can happen. You just have to get back into the rhythm. Mandula, a slight error onto the oval, and Gabor is through like a flash. Mandula going very wide as well, probably losing out on a little bit of aerodynamic downforce there. Off of the back of Gabor's car, and as they head into Spoon, Gabor has a clear margin, and again Mandula goes wide. So that is going to be that for now. Gabor moves up to P7. Has quite a job on his hands if he wants to catch up to Lorenzo. 6 seconds he'll have to make in the next 12 laps. If he wants to make up any more places in this race. Rick Cardle has not made any signs of heading to the pit lane yet, so he's going to eke out as much time as he can before coming into the pits. That was very aggressive through there, but he's trying to find every 10th he can because he knows that Fatal will be doing exactly the same thing. They cannot see each other. All they have is the deltas. So it turns into a psychological game between these two. 29 seconds the gap, and the entire drive plus a 10-second stop in the pit lane separates the top two at the moment. Rony is setting purple lap times, purple lap times personal bests, not purple fastest laps, green personal bests. So he is learning the car more and more as the race goes on. And the gap comes down to 28.7. So yeah, it looks like even though Fatal has come into the pits and put fuel in the car, he's still got the pace to kind of claw his way back to Rick. Would be impressive if he does the undercut, pits earlier, Rick pits later, but we'll have to wait and see. It doesn't often work like that in Need for Speed unless the driver out on track changes tyres and has a better time on them. But yeah, these guys are not changing tyres that much. Gabor has pace. He just has a lot of gap between him and the front runners. His last lap was a lot faster than the two leaders. But I do think that a 1 minute 34 gap to them is insurmountable at this point, unless they have a pretty big incident among themselves. Rick Cardle is coming around turn 1 to start lap 20. He is leading this race currently, but we do not know where Fatal is going to emerge after Rick makes his pit stop. We'll get an update of the gap as Fatal comes over the line. It's currently 28.5. It was around 30 seconds. Let's see what it is now as he comes across start finish. 28 dead. So yeah, he is still taking time out of Rick. That is not good news for the Siders crew. But good news in the Frag Masters camp so far. Rony has not pitted yet, so he is out of position. Pekka Koivunen, we expect to retake third place once Rony darts for the pit lane whenever he chooses to do that. As I mentioned, Pekka Koivunen should be in third spot on aggregate after everyone has shuffled through. He's doing a great job and still only 8 seconds off the lead. That might sound like a big gap, but with the way this car has been handling for the drivers today, that is a respectable gap. Only 8 seconds after about 40, 45, 50 minutes of racing for these guys. So pretty impressive. And if he keeps like that, then he might be able to pick up another place if something goes wrong for the guys ahead. Unite is some way back, 27 seconds now to Pekka, so it hasn't gone quite his way. He did start fourth, but he will probably finish fourth at best at this rate unless something goes wrong around him. Lorenzo, P6, an exuberant race. He's been very, very sideways, but he does have a problem in his mirror that is getting larger and larger, and that is Gabor. We ride on board with him now, heading into the first hairpin. And it looks like he's been taking chunks and chunks out of Lorenzo. We were only mentioning a couple of laps ago that this gap was fairly big, but it's now not very big. 2.25 seconds that he took out Lorenzo last lap. Lorenzo goes wide, compromises his entry into the chicane. That's going to give Gabor a nice run, but not much of a slipstream on this occasion. Lorenzo's exit wasn't that bad. Great sounding top end. Gabor using the engine braking down into spoon. Lorenzo wide again. Remember, both these guys using mouse. Or is Gabor using a wheel? No, he's using a wheel now. So there we are. Gabor with the superior hardware at the moment, and it's beginning to show. Not quite enough room to squeeze through there. And Lorenzo covering bases through turn 9 as well, and a good exit. So this is going to go off into the S's. Will Gabor try and send it up the inside before they get there? Kind of half-assed effort, but he's through as they head into the S's.
Yeah, I've just returned to the broadcast in time to see Gabor's move there. Very nicely played. Not a traditional overtaking point there, I have to admit. Yeah, he definitely got the better Lorenzo. It looks like the order is pretty much as it was when I had to go BRB for a moment, so yeah. Carry on, Pete. Yeah.
It's pretty much the same. Fatal has dropped back a bit, so Fatal and Rick are still mentioning the still maintaining that gap. And so the gap at the front just staying the same. We're just waiting for Rick Cardle to come in, also waiting for Rony to come in. And Unite has pulled one out of the bag. He's just set the fastest lap out of nowhere by quite by a small amount.
2/10.
Yeah, 2/10.
What Rick's personal best was for the race. Yeah, fantastic lap out of the pocket for Unite. No threat to Koivunen at that moment, but yeah, be a bit of pride for Unite to get the fastest lap. So a huge improvement compared to his previous lap. And if he can carry that on, it will be very encouraging.
Yeah, gap to P4 is 24 seconds. He's probably going to need a lot more than that to catch up, unfortunately. I don't think it's on. But, we can hope. Unite can hope as well, but he needs to do a lot more than that to catch up to Koivunen, who is doing an excellent job. He's closed up a second to the leaders, so I wonder whether Rick's had an issue or whether Pekka is putting in good laps too, as Rick Cardle takes back that fastest lap on this occasion. So he is setting some real pace now. Rick Cardle steals the fastest lap away from his teammate. And because of the length of this race, we've gone through the heat peak of the road supers in LFS, which means they start to get faster again as they go through the heat cycle. The tyre gets thinner, it allows it to dissipate heat more easily, and the performance of the rubber comes back until they go bang. And oh boy, do they go bang.
Yeah, it's no concern to Rick there with another little drift. He will be catching Yarikatila, who has been the most perseverant in the race. No matter what's happened to him, he's decided to just keep on going. Yeah, he will be delighted to make to the finish at this stage. He's got no direct competition for what'll feel like an eternity. So yeah, he wants to do his best and make it to the finish, but these blue flags need to be obeyed ASAP.
Yeah, I don't think Yari's going to have any sort of problem. No, there we go, straight across, and Rickardle goes through. Yeah, with the drivers on the track, I don't expect any issues of that nature. Everyone here pretty experienced. As we ride on board with Rickardle, who is putting on a pretty special show at the moment. And let's see what's going on. Chris in our ears reckons that at his current pace, Unite might catch Koivunen. As an onlooker, to me that sounds like a stretch. But Chris, well, when he says something, it's normally right or normally a good shout. So keep an eye on it. Let's see how close, Owen, that Unite can get to Pekka Koivunen. I reckon that's an effort. That is 2 seconds a lap at the moment. Well, if that's how quickly he's closing up to him, then well, maybe I'll change my bet.
Here we have Tasca in the pit lane. He will be beaten. He'll be. Yeah, I think the leader will be past him now, and then he'll be cleared to resume in 9th place. So yeah, that's a handy enough stop there for Tasca.
Yep, comes out where he came in. Yep, Magic will be no contest at all. He's just entering the home straight now. There he is, both with similar damage, probably picked up from the wall as they drive onto the oval. Plenty of left side damage for most of the drivers in this race. As we watch Rickardle send it through that chicane at top speed, no such issues for him, and he is opening up that gap again to Fatal. And wow, what a drive these two are putting on. Fastest split one for Rickardle. Let's see if he can take it round and get purple sectors for the entirety of this lap as well, and that will definitely help him in his fight with Fatal once Rick pits, which, well, knowing Rickardle, could be for quite a while yet.
Yeah, I've seen it many times now, viewing RTFR XL races, that there's always one driver that's in competition for the win that can go very long into the stint. But you want to be wary of the tires getting too cold.
Don't know if that's gonna be an issue here. Might be. You don't want to pit before your tires are well. You want to use the best life of the tires, and the best performance in the tires is now. After you've gone through the heat peak, the tires are cooling down again because the rubber is thinner. The performance comes back in LFS, and you can use that to get these really fast lap times. You can set faster lap times at the end of the stint than you can at the beginning. The fuel's come out, the tires have come back to you. You're not sliding around as much because of the heat. So you want to use that performance. So Rick will probably go as long as he dares before, as you say, the tires run out of tread and go pop.
This will be the end of the 23rd lap, heading into the 24th. And not quite a new fastest lap there, but a 2-minute 32.7 is very close where they want to be in his pursuit of victory. Very showy entry there before the chicane. Yeah, that's no problem whatsoever.
Yeah, let's see how Fatal's lap stacks up. Let's see how that interval changes as he heads over start finish. There he goes. It's gone up. So yeah, Rickardle somehow is just finding more and more performance. It's impressive. I definitely thought Fatal was looking like the faster, the ultimate pace. That looking like he had the ultimate pace over Rick today. It's not over, of course. 7 laps still to go, but we got to wait and see what happens when Rick Carter comes out the pits. Because right now, I think you couldn't choose between these two. It's anyone's game. Unite has dropped pace, so Chris has said that if he carries on like this, he might not catch up to Pekka. So that awesome pace that he had just before looked like a flash in the pan, Owen, and won't be enough currently to bridge that gap.
Yeah, he may have cut a few seconds out of the last lap compared to Koivunen, but yeah, it's a long shot now. It really needs to be perfection for Unite from now to the end of the race. It seems like an enormous task now if he's not hitting those deltas he needs. So yeah, Koivunen just has to remain relaxed and still determined as ever to get that 4th place, which will then become 3rd when Rony decides to pit.
Yeah, so Rony doing the same as Rick and basically trying to get the most out of the tyre life. I have to be honest, Rick and Rony are only 20 seconds apart, and that is their actual gap. That is the gap that they will be in, and they will have when they come in. As Pekka, he's looped it.
No.
He has looped it. Advantage Unite now. The challenge might be back on. That's going to be 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 seconds lost at least, and we're going to see Unite. Not quite, but he's literally just coming around turn 9 now, and that's the sort of error that Unite can capitalize on. Unlikely error there from Pekka Koivunen. We don't see it very often from him, but he was caught out as he went into turn 9, loops the car, loses a ton of time, and now he's going to have quite hot tires, and he's going to be a bit panicked. Will he keep his P3 or will he not?
Yeah, we'll need to compare the times with those. Clutch temperatures have to be managed as well here by Koivunen. 12-second loss for that spin. His gear changes now be a little bit compromised with that temperature in the clutch. So yeah, he's taking it a bit easy now. So he won't be able to perform at his best until he can get the temperatures down again.
Desperately unlucky, but it's a longer format race, and longer format races are harder, and you have to be concentrated for more than the sprint format, and it's a difficult car. 11 drivers remain. Finishing this race will be an achievement by the looks of it, and as Unite comes up to the line, let's see if Pekka Koivunen is managing that clutch. No, he's not. Another 3 tenths gone, pretty much 2 and a bit tenths over his rival there. So yeah, it is game back on, but only because of that big error from Pekka.
Yeah, he'll be kicking himself for that. But if he has that opportunity to pounce, then he may be lulled into a sense of complacency. Maybe if he feels like, oh, I'm just going to get this job done sooner rather than later. I doubt that's going to happen. So yeah, the threat is certainly looming for Koivunen. We can see there. Oh, Magic! I've just clicked on Magic. He's off at turn 9. That's turn 11. I beg your pardon. So he has finally got back onto the circuit. Oh, has to stop those slides with the build-up of dirt and gravel on those rear tires on the fronts, obviously as well. No one else was. No one was truly thrown off by that. So yeah, it's just a case of Magic making a similar mistake, and he just has to hang on in there. He's sliding again.
Yeah, unusual that the drivers are really struggling to get back into a rhythm after spins. I've seen it time and time again. This car likes to be at pace, and it once it's out of its rhythm, that's it. It's really hard to get it back into some description of control and Magic having a bad time. He's not really got much threat from behind. The only threat he has is not finishing really at this rate. Jari Katila is almost 2 minutes behind him, so Magic is a quite comfortable position at the moment for a top 10, but he's got to keep it on the track. And there again, just close. That would have been off into the wall if he'd have touched the grass there. But yeah, just needs to keep it under control and keep cool. Someone who's keeping very cool is our race leader, Rick Cardle, who is now 30.6 seconds ahead of Fatal. But Rick does need to pit if you're just joining us. Rick has yet to pit, and this is a long pit lane. He's got to do 10 seconds stop. Rony is the only other car now, I believe. The only other car who needs to stop as Eoin gives that a little bit of a whoop. Rick Cardle drops more than just one tyre, most of the car on the grass.
Yeah, I think he's going to probably have a bit of a show on this lap. Fatal not really able to touch what Rick Cardle's been capable of in this stint. So I suppose if he can perform a few drifts on a compromise lap, then so be it. He's on target so far, but because he's facing the right direction, he shouldn't be too upset. I do wonder if this is his optimum time to pit. If he has lost time on this lap, he may also consider following that strategy if this lap is his desired time to pit. So we'll follow. Be on board. No, he's going to carry on.
Yeah, I thought he was going to bail it in then. I thought you'd called it perfectly, but no, he just zips on by. He doesn't care. He's got 4 laps to go, and he has to pit within 3. So only 3 laps to go. He may as well eke out all the tyre life that he can. In fact, even though that lap did look a little bit ragged, he pulled another second over Fatal. So those tyres really are in their window. Fatal is struggling, and the gap is going to be big if Rick carries on going like this. Fatal really needs to dig deep now if he wants to get the win, and he needs it because Rick Cardle is his main championship rival. And as Rick comes through the chicane once more, perfect, absolutely perfect chicane. So putting on a really, really good show. He is the man to beat today.
Yeah, fantastic overhead shot with the zoom for Rick there. We'll see if turn 11 catches him out again, really. We'll move on now. Unite and his rear left gets too far onto the grass. He's as close as he's been to Koivunen since the opening portion of the race when the 4 standout drivers were all in the clear, but now Koivunen will be feeling that pressure, and Rony maybe need to be informed of this as well, because when he comes out of the pits, he might be able to respond to these 2 drivers having a battle. He'd be very interested to keep pushing and then make that pit stop as scheduled.
Yeah, fantastic driving from Unite to bring that gap down to 4.5 seconds. It was 7.5 after Pekka's mistake, so another 3 seconds gone. And now that he can smell a podium, Unite's woken up. He's decided he wants to be part of this race, and let's see if it's on. I'd be fair play to him if he can make it. I'll feel gutted a little bit for Pekka Koivunen, who drove very, very consistently besides that one error that we saw. Oh, there's another error though, leaving 11s on the road through Spoon, and he has traffic. Who is that traffic? That could be Magic. Yes, it is Magic coming up to turn 11, and there is Unite in the background, the gold and black WESSEX R69 SP looming. And as soon as Pekka sees that, that's when the sweat starts to come. He's worked so hard, the arms must be aching a bit, and he doesn't want to get caught. You don't want to get caught right at the end. It's the most depressing feeling as a driver being caught when you've worked so hard and being caught on the last lap.
Yeah, it's the 90th minute goal, or the tiebreaker in tennis or any such sport. That feeling when you've lost, but it was so close to the finish, you can't do anything in response. He's thankfully coming across a left turn there. If it was a right-hander, he would have been all out of shape. But yeah, the lap traffic complied, so all is fair. Yeah, it's really high stakes now for Koivunen. So close to that checkered flag, but his desired third place finish. As Rony takes to the pits, he will now have the third place. Rony will be getting that 10-second mandatory stop logged.
So he's not timing it on the fuel. He's doing it on his own like Unite did. Unite managed a 10.08 on his timing, but here is Pekka Koivunen flying through. Rony times it to within 400ths of Unite's effort at 10.12, but it's not enough. And Pekka Koivunen retakes that third place, but more importantly, Unite then has regained fourth place. And here is Magic in between. That isn't Rony, that's Magic who now separates these two. Magic is a lap down and should let Unite through. Yes, he does, just about. Could have been, I don't know, there we go. It's happened anyway. And yeah, now we need to really focus on Rick Cardle and Unite, because Unite, he can see Pekka Koivunen, he can smell him, and there's only 3 laps to go now to get this done. We'll get a gap at the sector time, of course. These drivers are, there we go, 2 seconds now, Owen. This is on.
Absolutely. The comeback for Unite after getting loose earlier in the race. This will be a sensational comeback. The best possible result for Unite would have been the third place. And it's very much in the balance here. Koivunen just cannot get that lap time to where he needs to be. And we will wait in anticipation to see what could happen next.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say, folks, if you're fans of the Fragmaster team, then it looks like Fatal's flame is, well, it's slightly going out. 33 seconds, the gap. Ricciardo has had something else to eat during his pit stop, because, well, 4 seconds has the gap gone up since then. And yeah, Fatal's going to have to do something remarkable in the next couple of laps if he wants that gap to go down and to reclaim the lead. Rick still has to pit. There's a lot of variables in the pit stop. There's braking. He's on very old rubber. Will his tyres stay together? Will he be able to get down to the 50 miles an hour, 80 kilometre an hour speed limit as he enters pits? Will he spot his box? Will he mistime his pit stop? Well, anything can happen, but he has earned himself an extra 4 seconds of a buffer, and that should be plenty enough for Rick to just cruise in and out and take the lead. But let's keep an eye on this battle. The car ahead of Unite that we are on board with at the moment is Pekka Koivunen, who has been in third place for the whole race, pretty much. But after that costly mistake at turn 11 that saw him loop the car and then fall back onto the grass, and then it took him a while to get going again, Unite has seen blood, he's seen red, or rather in this case he's seen a big yellow World Class Lions logo in his face, and has decided that enough's enough, he wants that place back.
And if the lap times as posted last time around are consistent, we will see Unite emerge ahead in third place. But the whole trick now is Koivunen can act as a blocker here to fend off the threat of the faster car. But have to be very tactical where he decides to pull out the defence because of the extreme sliding nature of this car. You won't want to do it on those crests and dips in the middle sector if there's a threat of a side-by-side. So we'll see what happens here. I expect now Rick will be coming around to the final chicane for his scheduled pit stop. It has to be now, or he will face disqualification. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, Rick Cardle will pin this thing into pits. We're going to ride on board with him as he brings it down the gears. Yeah, nice and gentle, up to the limit. No shouting engine like everybody else, just cruising it in. He's going to find a box. The gap was another second almost that he took out of Fatal there. Rolls it into his box. he's not doing any work, no fuel, so he is just timing this on his own. He's got all the time in the world to just get this done. 10.43 seconds. He's on his way, and Fatal is now spooling up that engine and working his way down to the first corner. But I think by a country mile, Ricciardo has got this in the bag. It's a big gap in the end, and there we are. Ricciardo emerges after his pit stop in the lead, and that is what the gap looks like. Good effort by Fatal. It's not over yet, but with one lap to go, that was a solid stint from Ricciardo.
Yeah, magnificent effort for Rick. He had to do all the work himself. He wouldn't have had anyone to chase to keep him on his toes, but every lap time he needed to do was perfect. But we'll now carry on this battle for the bronze medal position. Koivunen versus Unite. Oh, Gabor says he's 1% fuel left, so Gabor in trouble in sixth place with his fuel. He'll have to take this moment to pit. He won't make it to the finish on that capacity. So Lorenzo will notice that, and hopefully, for his point of view, he'll be close. Mandula also close. But yeah, Gabor, thankfully for his point of view, he did spot. And now on the inside, it's Unite.
Oh no! This is the worst nightmare as a racing driver. This is the worst nightmare. Holding a position for the whole race, and then on the final lap, you get caught and overtaken. And Unite's done it into the first hairpin. I can't believe it. Oh, goodness me. That is the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah.
But fair play. Unite came. He overturned almost a 30-second deficit after pitting very early in the race. And Pekka Koivunen must be absolutely gutted.
Sympathies out to him for sure. That's really unpleasant to see for such a good performance. We called him Mr. Consistent, and it was just unfortunate that one mistake also befell Koivunen. We saw that on the cameras. Unite had more time to undo his mistake, and that's been the difference here. But we'll now join the winner to be as he flourishes with a drift.
That was a big flourish.
Would have been out of sight to see what had happened. So there you have it. Ricciardo will now take the plaudits and the victory here at Kyoto. Absolutely wonderful job. Congratulations.
Yeah, fantastic drive from Ricciardo. He put the screws to Fatal early on, and I do wonder what would have happened if Fatal didn't make that error. We did miss it on the cameras, but we know that he went off at turn 11, went wide and lost 3 seconds, and that was that. Ricciardo was able to get through. The wind went from Fatal's sails, and it is a win for Sidus and a P2 for Fragmasters. So the championship battle, will continue on, and the gap between those two will come down. And talk amongst yourselves, folks, because there's going to be a bit of a wait before we see P3, and it will be the purple, the Sidus car of Unite eventually.
There you go.
There he is. Back marker going through. I think it was Tazka going through. But there is Unite, followed by Pekka Koivunen. 2.5 seconds in the end. Was beaten by Unite, which is really is just the worst feeling. And especially losing out on a podium in the end. Rony finishes very respectable 5th place. Good effort from him. 1 minute 5 off the lead, though. That is quite a gap. After 1 hour and 20 minutes of driving. And just waiting then for the rest of the cars. It's quite a long lap here, obviously, but there comes
Gabor decided he doesn't want the penalty he faced for speeding in the pit lane to be applied, so he just spectated when he was on the start finish straight. That will open the door for Mandula and Lorenzo, 6th and 7th there. So,
so we will have 10 finishers, but Gabor will be classified. He'll be classified as a finisher, even though he didn't bother to bring it to the end of the race.
Yeah, he'll be 8th, I suppose.
Yeah, but there we are. Ricciardo wins in 1 hour, 17 minutes, 18.5. followed by Fatal 3.5 seconds. And look at that gap back to Unite, almost a minute. So those two were on a different level today, and it's a sore defeat that for Fatal. 4 seconds, 3.5 seconds. There's nothing, absolutely nothing in it after 1 hour 17 minutes. It's crazy margin. So congrats to those two. Well done to to Unite for catching and passing Pekka Koivunen in the end. Bitter disappointment for the World Class Lions driver, finishing in P4 ultimately. Then it's the race green trio of Rony, Mandula, and Lorenzo. Good effort. Then Gabor, Tazka, and Magic are your finishers. Gabor actually is registered a lap ahead because the others were lapped. Tazka, Magic, and Yari all finished, but were registered a lap or two down. Yari Katila was your final finisher. Yaroloko 18 laps down, Soini 19, Martin Kapal 19, Michael Malik, Pedro BR, Twincam, and T-Bug did not finish. And that is the 18 cars we had at the start. And another plaudit for Rick Cardle. The 2 minutes 31.76 is the fastest lap in the WESSEX R69 SP at Kyoto Grand Prix long reversed, Owen. That was fantastic, I have to say. I'm a big fan of the car. I like to see the drivers have a challenge, and I like to see how it all shakes out. I think Unite was lucky in the end, but also, super talented to get that third place back.
Absolutely, yeah. We know how difficult it's been for the drivers. We've seen cases where a mistake was too much to bear, but in the case of Unite, he thought, I still have a chance here, and he made every opportunity he got count, pit at the right time, had solid lap times, and Koivunen just felt the pressure and unfortunately made the similar mistake, and then the equalized times were just suiting Unite perfectly, so he was able to go. And the credit for victory and indeed the runners-up spot go to Rick, Cardle, and Fatal, the class apart today. I'd love to see them continue their battle as we head into autumn. And then obviously the perseverance of Yarkitel to make the end, I love to see that. Well done. And then other great examples of battles were seen. We had Mandula and Lorenzo very close to each other as well. They were fighting away to the very end. And Rony, of course, didn't put a foot wrong at all. Maybe with a bit more time, he could have threatened Koivunen himself. So, yeah, every driver has a story to tell, and I'm glad we got to witness it.
Yeah, it wasn't far, the gap between Rony and Pekka. That's a good point. It was only 8 seconds in the end, actually, separating Pekka Koivunen and Rony. So, yeah, Rony was definitely on pace. I'm pretty sure he would have enjoyed his afternoon to pick up a P5, and that will definitely shake up the championship standings heading into 2 weeks' time. The 70th RTFR XL on October 4th. We do not yet know the combo for that, I believe, but as soon as we find out, we will put it on our calendar, and we will see what is chosen by the winner today. Rick Cardle, of course, will choose the combo for round 70, and we hope you can join us for that in 2 weeks' time. What else have we got coming up on Sim Broadcasts? In 4 weeks' time. In 2 weeks' time, we won't have any RTFR on our screens, unfortunately. But there we are. Coming up in a couple of days' time for the Fragmasters GTI Thursday series, it will be round 36 of that championship coming from Aston North Reversed with the GTI class on Thursday. And that's the 5th anniversary of GTI Thursday, I believe. So a special one for them, and it's going to be a special format. So pay attention to that. Get involved if you can. Join the Fragmasters GTI Thursday server on Thursday for that race, and join us on the stream if you can't manage it for the grid. Owen, thanks very much as always. Chris, you've been busy today as well with in the background, so thanks very much, team, and thank you, viewers, for tuning in. I know it was a long one, a tough one. Only 10 cars made it to the finish, but there we are. It was a challenge for everybody, and I hope the drivers enjoyed it as we enjoyed watching. So thank you very much, guys. I hope to see you at the next one. See you later. Have a good evening. Thanks, Owen. Goodbye.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Chris. Bye-bye.